Welcome to the Chris and Sam podcast. Pull up a bar stool and join us for a random conversation, guaranteed to make you think or your money back.
Hello and welcome to episode 64 of the Chris and Sam podcast.
Hey, Chris here too. And Sam has just got back from his holiday. So that should be good because we all know what Sam's like on his holidays. How many museums did you visit on your holiday, Sam?
Te Papa, the National War one, Wellington Museum, Reserve Bank, 4. Oh, and the cable car one, 5. I knew there was a few. Yep.
Yeah, so that's one a day while you're away. Was that right? You're away 5 days?
Yeah. Monday to Friday in Wellington.
Yes, good old Wellington, my old stomping ground, my old hometown. Good grief, that doesn't bode well.
No, it doesn't. When's the last time you were there? You were there for the Sevens. Was that last time?
Yeah, Sevens must have been last time. You know, when I went for the Sevens,
yes.
I landed in the plane and then I just walked into town.
Yeah.
From the airport.
Man,
you can do that in Wellington. So
you can do that.
Yeah, it's not probably the best, but yeah, I walked from town from the airport to Willis Street and where I was staying, and then I went, the next, after the Sevens, I went, nah. So I walked back to the airport again.
Yeah, I mean, it's doable. As long as the weather's fine.
Oh, the weather was great. You had good weather.
Yes, it was just windy as yesterday, but that's okay.
That's 1 day out of 5.
Yeah. Everything was good.
That's really good, yeah. They do say you can't beat Wellington on a good day, and it is. It's amazing down the waterfront and stuff.
It is. It's really cool.
Yeah. So, anyway, that was your trip to Wellington. What's anything you want to, anything that really took your fancy there?
So, yeah, the DreamWorks Te Papa exhibit, that was really cool.
I'm so jealous.
DreamWorks had all their gear there and stuff set up, and they had amazing displays. And you could have a go at animating something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had the big Wacom tablets set up, and it was basically for kids. And you're only allowed 10 minutes though.
Yeah, well.
So after 10 minutes, most kids have done 12 frames. Yeah. And then you could email it to yourself.
That's
so
pretty cool.
So for a split second, you could see something wobble across the screen.
Oh, cool.
So it was pretty cool. Yeah, it was really interesting.
Do you want to explain, if you can, the animated desktop thing?
Yeah, they had this big table, and it was
had
all
a load of crap on it.
Yeah, it was all roped off, and it had drawings, and it had a tablet, and it had 2 phones, and it had post-it notes, and had a script, and it had all sorts of stuff.
Bits and pieces like pens and paper,
rulers,
and
what you'd expect from an animation studio.
Yeah.
And then after a while, everything that had text or drawing started moving. So the storyboard was getting drawn on a sheet of paper and it was moving along. The script was getting highlighted as they were moving stuff. The screens were showing things on the tablet and phone. And it was all happening, and it was all being beamed from above from a projector. And it was beaming it all onto white spaces. So the tablet actually had a white piece of cardboard stuck to the front of it. And the phone did too, and obviously the bits of paper were just white, and everything was being beamed down onto it.
It sounds fantastic. I've seen a photo of it, and maybe we can add that photo to the
show
notes.
Yeah. And there was another one with a desk and a window with a little bit of animation going on.
How much did it cost to go and see that particular exhibition?
It was $15.
So that's good. That's good.
It was. There was a lot of stuff to see just in that one exhibit.
Yeah.
Especially if you're right into it. The problem is, though, school holidays, fighting with kids are all in the way.
Is it school holidays at the moment?
Yeah, they go back on February.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So, but the exhibition is there till March, something or other. So that was very cool. And then they had the Gallipoli exhibition. That was at Te Papa, and that's with the Peter Jackson.
And that's the one with the giant.
Weta Workshop made giant people. We'll post some photos because you just can't comprehend from the photo. That's why I had to stand next to one.
Yeah.
Because after a while I was like, if I just show photos of this, people won't understand how big these things are. And
So Sam's literally just shown me the photos while I had lunch just before.
Yeah.
So, because you got back last night.
Yes. Yep. And the detail, oh my God, if I took a photo of a real human being, I don't think they'd have as much detail as these things would. Every hair, every fiber, sweat, everything. Like the eyes, just so crazy. And you know they're going to be big, and you know that they're going to be really cool looking, but you just walk in and the very first one, you're just like, whoa. Like, everyone's just like, whoa.
Oh, wow.
Because the light, because they're in a dark room.
Do you know how long that's there for, that exhibition?
No. I'm going to say it's there for a while.
Yeah, I definitely want to get down there and see. I do want to see it before I...
You should. You definitely should.
I should go down to Wellington. I did have some family news from Wellington. I don't think anybody from my family listens to this, so I can sort of say that, everything's not rosy in the old Hanlon domain, which is why I don't talk to them pretty much. So anyway,
that Gallipoli, the scale of our war. Sorry, just to chip out in, it's there for the next 3 years.
Oh right,
2 more years.
2 more years.
That works in well for you.
Yeah. So I might have to do another undercover trip to Wellington, just not tell my family I'm down there.
That's interesting because I didn't tell anyone I was going.
Yeah.
And I walked past 3 people off Twitter. Like, they just walked straight past me.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, because you know a lot of people from...
I guess because they don't know I'm there and I'm completely out of place and I look a bit different.
Yeah.
Just doesn't recognise.
Yeah, I think the only people I'd catch up with if I went down there would be Amber and Ben, probably.
Yeah, because after a while it can get a bit overwhelming.
Oh, yeah. I'd just go back to that same pub that I met up with them last time and have a beer. That was awesome. I forgot where it is now, but...
Wasn't the Green... I've been to a pub down there.
Not the Green Parrot, no.
No, I went to another one which is like the Green Man or the Big Man or something. That was really cool.
Yeah, it was all sorts of models and everything. I think it had a Millennium Falcon hanging in there and stuff. It was really cool.
I mean, if you're going to meet Ben and Amber at a pub, it's going to be that one.
Yeah, and craft beer, of course. So yeah, no, it was good.
Oh yes, the big craft beer scene.
Can't remember the name of it, but anyway,
I've got one more thing.
Yes.
I better carry on because we are talking about my Wellington trip.
Yes, we are.
No stories from the airplanes, really. Everyone was boring.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Because you always eavesdrop on airplanes to come back.
No.
And you were in a smaller airplane, so maybe you had less eavesdrop room.
Oh, it's not eavesdrop. Normally they just talk to you or they're right next to you. But so I ended up going to the National War Memorial and they've got the Great War exhibition on at the back, which Chris informed me used to be the museum. Yes,
because my grandma used to work there and I used to help close up the museum at night and stuff like that. It was awesome.
So that's really cool. And you go in and they say, welcome to the War Memorial exhibition thing. And they said, look, we do guided tours. They're $15 each. They're going to take 45 minutes. They're the best way to get the best experience from the whole thing. Or you can just make a donation. And it was like, not sure how long this is going to take, how much time we've got, and save some cash. So we just said, we'll make a donation. So that was okay. So we walk in. The initial setup is a little street scene, and you're walking down and all that.
Yeah.
And there's lots of tight corners, and you're going from room to room, from exhibit to exhibit. Of course, it's a museum. And we start off, and we get stuck behind a group that's going on a guided tour. There's about 10 of them, and the tour guide obviously is quite loud, so we can hear what he's saying. So, score for us. And we didn't know this, but obviously we're getting a benefit here because we can hear the guy. And then there's a woman. I don't know what her problem is, but there's a woman, and she's with her mum, and I think her mum was in a wheelchair. And we are the only people behind this tour group at this moment. So this lady's like, you can go in front of us. You can go in front of us. And A, there's physically no room to actually get through these people around a corridor into the next section. And B, if we do that, we're going to miss out on seeing some part of the exhibit.
Yeah, because you've got to skip ahead. Yeah.
We've got to skip ahead. So we said, no, we're okay. We're fine. So that was it. She did not like anyone else being behind them and getting the experience of a tour, but not paying for the tour. So this woman was just glaring at us almost the whole time as we're going around the tour.
I would have been laughing at that. I would have been giving her a big cheesy smile every time she glared.
We thought this was the funniest thing in the world. So as we're
awesome.
As we're going around, she likes chirping up every 10 minutes or so. Hey, you guys can go in front of us. But as we're going along, there's more and more backlog behind us. So there's like 10 of us now that haven't paid for the tour, 10 of them that have paid for the tour, and we can't get ahead. And then we get to the point where they had the camouflage tanks and that.
Yeah.
And this woman's like, guys, and she's talking to another bunch of people. You guys can go in front of us. And this other woman just turns around and says, can you stop saying that? We're not going ahead of you because we don't want to miss any of the exhibits. So just be quiet. And we were just like, yes.
Yeah.
Shut up, you stupid woman. Yeah. So, yeah. That was the only sort of interesting thing really that happened. It was a great trip, though.
Oh, no, it sounds like you had fun.
Looks like you've been busy adding things onto what we use, Trello. Which
on
is
our Trello thing,
yep.
yeah. So I don't know, I've got a couple of things. One of them, the Shirataki train station in Japan. I thought this was a fascinating little story, news story.
Yes, hit me with it.
So Japan keeps this train station running. So apparently all the back rural type train stations in Japan, and they use like old trains, so they got the fast bullet trains and stuff, but this is the old rural network.
Yes.
They've been closing down over time because a lot of people are moving out from the country into the cities and all the rest of it.
Okay, that makes sense.
So, but there's this one stop, and they've left it in there for years. There's been just one passenger who regularly waits at the Shirataki train station on the island of Hokkaido, Japan. It's a high school girl on her way to class. The trains stop there only a few times a day, once to pick up the girl for school and a few times after the school day is over.
Oh, wow.
And so basically they were looking at closing that line, and it was like, oh, hang on, there's this girl that keeps going. So they said, oh, how many years she got left in high school? And they went 3. And they said, oh, we'll keep it going for 3 years.
That's crazy, eh?
That's amazing.
But that's just how
it's so cool.
But it's how they think about things?
Yeah, I know. And they go, no, that's what we're here for. We're here to serve.
Yeah.
And as long as this person needs service, we're not going to cut them off because there's no other way she could get to school, basically.
Yeah.
So they're like, no, we'll just keep it.
No, they're very cool how they think about things.
So, yeah, I thought that was a really cool little story, so I thought I'd mention that. What else did we have here? Oh, I love this story too. Finding yourself. Now this was Canada. Okay. So
finding yourself
Iceland,
to a whole new level.
Iceland's. Oh, that was my headline. That's
yes.
what I would have called it. A group of tourists spent hours Saturday night looking for a missing woman near Iceland's Elja Canyon, only to find her amongst the search party. So the group was travelling through Iceland on a bus tour and stopped near the volcanic canyon. Blah, 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 blah. And one of the women on the bus left to change her clothes and freshen up. When she came back, the other people on the bus didn't recognise her. Soon there was word of a missing passenger. The woman didn't recognise the description of herself and joined in the search. About 50 people searched the terrain by vehicles and on foot. The Coast Guard was even readying a helicopter to help. But the search was called off about 3 a.m. when it became clear that the missing woman was in fact accounted for and searching for herself.
There's so many questions.
That is awesome. Like, you couldn't write that crap. Like, you just don't make that up.
Why? Why don't...
Didn't they count the heads? Did they not do a head count before they started?
You've got this head count thing, which they should have done.
Like, first thing.
Did they never ever mention her name? Like, who are we searching for? Oh, this chick that looks like this, but we're not going to say her name.
Yeah. What does she look like? What does she look like? She's got a blue sweatshirt and jeans on. She's changed her sweatshirt. I don't know, but
how different does her appearance change? Like, did she go into the thing?
She removed clothes and freshened up. So who knows?
I'm imagining taking her glasses off, putting contacts in, shaving her head, having some sort of weird sex change.
But even just pulling her hair back might make a big difference. I don't know.
I can't. Boggles my mind. So how long? It said it took till 3 o'clock in the morning.
The search was called off at 3 a.m.
When did it
start?
It
doesn't say when it started.
Okay,
you'd think it'd be pretty late when it started, to be honest.
Who knows? Who knows? It could have been like lunchtime.
Yeah. I would have thought it would be, like 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon when they started.
Yeah, okay.
But that's totally guessing.
Let's even say it conservatively 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I suppose nighttime adds into a bit of the trying to find someone a bit harder outside. It's like 7 hours.
Yeah. 50 people looking. That's a funny. I thought you'd like that story.
Yeah, it's great. Stupid people are everywhere. That's the problem.
I mean, you'd feel so stupid yourself. So what have you seen anything of the recent news about Netflix
trying
to cut down proxies, accessed by proxies
Yeah.
in the US?
Yeah, it's a big... everyone here in New Zealand that is using a proxy have basically said they'll just cancel all their accounts. That's a given if that happens. Other comments I've read online are saying Hulu's been trying to do that for years, and there's no...
I read that too.
There's no real easy way of doing it, and Netflix have mentioned it before and never done it. So if they can do it...
I think the part of the issue is it's a political scenario, really, for Netflix. They've got to say, oh, no, we don't condone this, because there's a lot of people going, oh, Netflix condone it? Because they know it happens. Everybody has to know
they had a grey area about it, and they were sort of like, yeah, we know it happens, but we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
By the way, here's a
I
guide.
think now they're saying, no, we don't condone it. But I don't think they can stop it. I don't think there's... it's that easier thing to do. But there is Netflix in New Zealand. So just particularly for people outside of New Zealand who don't know, for a long time we didn't have Netflix.
No.
We didn't have any access to any sort of streaming service.
No.
So at that point was when a lot of people got proxies. They're paying for the service in the States with US dollars through PayPal or however they want to pay it.
Yep.
And they're using a proxy service so that it looks like they're US
based
citizens, US based, and so they can access the service. Then Netflix did come here.
Yes.
But it's regional licensing.
Yeah, so we can't get everything.
So that company can't get everything, and that's the issue. So one of the things that Netflix in New Zealand can't get is The Walking Dead. And that's because Lightbox or one of the others, Neon or one of them, has got it.
Yeah,
A few other local operators that do the same sort of thing. So I get it. I get the fact that there's got to be competition, and the fact that if they can have one, you've got it and you haven't, it adds to that competition thing.
It sure does.
But, it's a competitive advantage. But, we need to get to that point where it's just global frickin' licensing. And that is what Netflix is working on.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to get towards. Talking about TV and stuff, lots and lots of complaints about the Sky TV upgrade.
What's happened with Sky TV?
They rolled out a massive upgrade, and they're still rolling it out. So people with an old set-top box gets a brand new one. Oh yeah, and the people with
is that all the My Sky style top?
Yeah.
Because I had the old one.
Yeah, so
I got rid of it before you moved in.
Yeah. I haven't seen one here, but and people with the newer boxes, they can just roll out the upgrade online or however they do it.
Yeah. So what's the problem with it?
It's really confusing to use the programmer and the planner, and the font's really little, so old people can't see it, and it's really terrible user interface.
Oh my god! Because user what is that? The word user design.
Yeah.
There's a better word for it, but basically user design. That's so important now, and for something like Sky, you'd think they've got the money. They can't afford to screw it up. They're getting beaten in a competitive environment now. You
want to read their spokesperson's replies. It's just like, we're fixing it, and we can do it via software change, which is easy. It's just font and stuff. But they're just like, they never ever say, oh yeah, we're losing customers hands over fist. No, we're not. They just seem to be in denial. And all the comments are like, if there's a actual legitimate way of getting sport easier and better, like Netflix or whatever, Sky will just go down overnight, because that's the only thing keeping almost everyone on it.
Yeah, just
especially in New
people,
Zealand.
So non-New Zealanders listening to this, Sky is the only, I was going to say cable, but it's not cable, satellite broadcast.
Yeah,
people
over the years they have so many adverts now, and it's crap. You can just imagine what it's like. But a lot of Kiwis, most Kiwis, are very, very sport-loving people.
And Sky own all the sports rights.
Yep.
All the rugby, all the golf, pretty much everything.
Pretty much everything, unless they throw a little bone to one of the...
one of the broadcast companies. So basically, if you're interested in sport, you basically have to get Sky Sport. And that's the other thing that bugged me too. You get Sky, you pay a subscription for that. That gives you half a dozen channels. Then if you want movies, you've got to pay a subscription for that. And then if you want Rialto, which is, interesting movies, you got to pay a subscription to that. And then you've got sports on top of that. And then Rugby Channel was a separate charge on top. And I'm like, really? You can all just go shaft.
Yeah.
Because I had Sky Basic for years because I wasn't paying for it. It was supplied by my work. And so, so I had it for 10 years or something. But I didn't pay any of the extras because I didn't pay anything for it.
Actually, I just remembered a story about Netflix. I'll bring it up so you can actually look at it. There's secret codes within Netflix. Did you know that?
No.
So there's more than 20,000 codes that Netflix use to categorize TV shows. So these are like codes, like you want werewolf horror movies? That's the code.
75930.
Yeah. And you can search, like, these are the 10 of their favourite secret Netflix categories on New Zealand Herald. The stunts and general mayhem, 3050. So you can somehow input these codes, and it'll show you what they've got. So you want suspenseful action and adventure starring Wesley Snipes, 3637.
Wow.
So it's, I know, it's like coming of age movies for ages 11 to 12. That's the code.
535.
Critically acclaimed cerebral war movies. So it's interesting. I don't know how it all started and why. They
were a little bit bizarre, but
there's some cool OCD person somewhere within Netflix going.
No. I tell you what I think it is. I think it's a categorization of the searches. So people have searched for certain things, and then they've labeled the search a number. Like it might be auto-generated, and so people have got those searches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here we go.
Reference number
You are correct. Yep, specific searches under key subject lines.
Yeah.
But I think, you may be right. But I still like thinking that there's some weirdo in a basement somewhere.
Oh, well, there's this weirdo that bloody worked it out and has started collecting them and working out what they all are, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But there you go. So that was me on the television rant. This is probably a year old now, but I'd never heard of it before.
Okay.
I did a bit of work for Oxfam, went for the trail walk a couple of times. 100K walk and that.
Yeah, because you're crazy.
Yeah, and a big part of that was, there are women in Africa who walk 100 kilometres a day to get water for their family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And they're carrying a load of water. And we weren't carrying a lot of stuff when we did our 100Ks. Right? So, but I want to say it's an Australian girl, but it could be. I might be wrong about the nationality. But this quite young woman, she's come up with this thing called the water wheel. Have you seen it?
No.
And it's just brilliant. It's just a barrel with an axle and a handle.
Oh, okay.
And it takes 50 gallons of water.
Yeah.
And you roll it to and from the thing.
Okay.
And it's so.
I see. Yeah.
It can transport as much water as 4 people normally. It's quicker. It's better for their health, obviously, because they get curvature in the spine and the head and all this stuff. They're working out ways to add benefits to it. So it can, because it's rolling, it can be charging your cell phone up while you're doing it.
Or generating
and
for a light or something.
It can be moving the water through filtration systems and stuff, so it cleans the water. It's freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
So I've got a link to the video about it.
Cool.
It's like a TEDx talk.
Yeah.
It's like a 5-minute one, I think. But it's on that link in there. So if you want to put that on
we'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah,
at Chris
check
and
that
Sam
out.
podcast.com.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
It blows my mind that some of the
simplest things.
Yeah.
Hey? It's just so simple. You look at it and you go, why has nobody done that before?
Every time we talk about simple ideas, I have to go to 2 magnets and a piece of tape. That's like episode 7, maybe.
I was just going to say
have a look
10.
because I rant out big time on that one. But it's simple ideas. So
yeah. So So it was as soon as I saw it, I was like, that is such an obvious idea. But they've obviously put a lot of work into it, and it's got like a thick rubber edge on it, so you can go over boulders and rocks and it can survive it, and there's all sorts of stuff there. But fascinating little talk. Definitely worth checking out.
There was, actually just talking about a simple idea, not so simple, but a simple concept. This guy, I'll have a link on the website and everything, He was in the Air New Zealand magazine. That's how I found out about it on the airplane. And he's won a top design award, and he got a fair bit of cash for it. And he's basically built a system to start the base of building tree houses without damaging the tree. So it's a big clamp system that goes around the tree.
Oh, right.
And then you can build from that and build an actual tree house.
Cool.
And it's designed very, very well. So
that's not new though, eh? Or is that a new one?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think I've seen something like that, but a while
This is
ago.
this is a Kiwi. It might be a new design or a new way of doing it. It's a Kiwi designed one.
Yeah, I don't think the one I saw was Kiwi one actually. But yeah, no, and it's funny because there's tree houses because there was I think it was Discovery Channel or something. There's a series, and it's this guy that all his business is putting tree houses in.
Yeah,
to
that'd be
people's
cool.
places, and $20,000 or something for these tree houses, like amazing. But they works about, so it's pretty cool. So that's pretty much.
You
what
had cheap drone.
Oh, cheap drone. We can ignore that one.
We can ignore that.
It was a Kickstarter.
Is that the one from the other day? The biggest failed Kickstarter in Europe?
No. This one is it was a paper airplane basically, and you put the motor on it, and you can control it. So you fold your own. It's a real cheap drone. I'll find we've got the links in there. We'll throw it in the show notes and have a look. It was interesting, but yeah.
Was it cheap?
I think it's over now. I can't remember.
I really want to have a go with that now.
I looked at it and went, I'll put that on my list and maybe we'll talk about it, but I meant to look through it properly and I haven't. So anyway, apart from that, so yesterday I went on an audition.
You
my first
did.
audition.
This isn't actual. Normally he does background talent work, and that just stand up, and stand in the back of the corner, and don't laugh.
Yeah, they look at your photo and go, "Oh yeah, we need one of those."
Yeah,
and we'll get you to walk across around the corner or do whatever,
Now this is an actual audition, but this is through the same people, eh?
Well, so my talent agency has put me to a place called Reel Casting, REEL Casting. And so it's a casting agency that's casting.
So they've said, we've got this guy.
The casting agency have been hired by, I think this one's Ogilvy and Mather.
Okay.
It's the advertising thing. The client, I probably shouldn't say who the
we
client
won't
is.
say who the client is.
And so they said, right, we want somebody to come along. We need somebody in this thing to do this. And it's a major national campaign.
Yeah.
So if I get it, I will be on everyone's TVs quite a bit. And maybe on...
I know, it's really cool. And I think you can pull it off.
Yeah. So I drove up to Auckland. So I spent like $40 again, petrol, just to get to this audition. Spent 10 minutes there, filled out a questionnaire, stood there, got a photo, stood in front of the camera, got side views, profile, front. I said, you don't mind, don't worry, it's not your lens, it is my nose that's this shape. Trying to break the ice.
Oh.
And then sat in a chair because I've got to pretend I'm like sitting in a bus and I've got a bit of an attitude thing going on. So I'm doing the attitude. I think I can pull that off because that's the sort of shit I would actually do. So that'd be quite good. And if I get paid for it, if I get the job and get paid, it should cover my expenses for a month.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Which is quite good. So I'll find out about that on Monday or Tuesday, I think.
Excellent.
So that was cool, but it was quite interesting. It was just interesting to turn up.
Yeah.
And interesting enough too. They said, so have you been in many campaigns or anything else? And I'm like, actually, I'm new to this whole thing, really.
Yeah.
And that was a big plus because I was sort of thought they go, oh, but I think they like that. So so that was pretty cool. Otherwise just been doing a little bit more writing and bits and pieces. So
excellent.
That's me.
Oh, well, until next time.
Yes.
You can make sure you check up on us. We have got some more Facebook followers, I think. There's like 30 of them on there now.
Oh, really?
I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Check us out at thechrisandsampodcast.com.
Yes.
Find us on Twitter. You'll find all sorts of tweets going out all over
Chris
the time.
and Sam Pod. There's the odd tweet where I think I'm tweeting from me, but I'm tweeting from Chris and Sam Podcast.
Yeah, you'll notice that.
But you'll see that because that's me.
Makes no sense. And it's Chris promoting himself on our thing, but that's okay.
Yeah, I do that a little. A lot of self-promotion going on right now. And we've also, as we mentioned before, on Facebook, just look for the Chris and Sam Podcast. So really appreciate you guys listening in again. And if you want to hear anything, if you've got something, a story you think needs to be told, if you've got something you need to get out, a message you want to get out and we can share with our audience, let us know. Get hold of us. I am going to put one big plug in right now for the Asia Pacific Podcast Conference. I like to think that I had a little hand in making this thing occur.
I think you did. I think you planted the seed.
Yes, exactly. And I will be helping out with it as well. I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm doing. I might be running a couple of panels, or I might be doing MC. I'm not quite sure yet, but I'll be there. That is in February.
It's good that one of us is going, because then we can find out how it all went, and we'll report back to you.
Yeah, it's in February. Just look it up. Asia Pacific Podcast Conference is the .com, I think.
Sounds good.
You'll find it, and we'll have links to it anyway. So that's cool, and I look forward to seeing anybody into podcasting there.
Excellent. Until next time, I'm Sam.
And I'm Chris. Bye.
See ya.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to subscribe and we'll catch you next week. Don't forget to tell your friend.